Hey everybody, Midlife Media here, and I got a little different kind of video for you today. I picked up something recently, so let's just dig into it and I'll show you what I got. Friday morning, I got my 512 gig Steam Deck that I pre-ordered in July of last year, like July 16th or something. But on the 4th of July, I got my notification that my reservation was available to purchase. But basically, if you don't know, the Steam Deck was put up for reservation. You can put $5 down. There was 3 different models to choose from, and this was in July of 2021. And essentially, you were put into a queue because they were slow at producing these, and then also a lot of people wanted them. So it took quite a while to get them out to everybody. They're still working on it. They basically just hit the Q3 2021 pre-order queue, and that's the one I was in. But anyway, after I purchased it on the 4th, I got shipment notification the next day, and then I got it Friday morning. But anyway, I've been spending a lot of time playing with it this weekend. Overall, my thoughts on it, it's awesome. Basically, you can play tons of different Steam games, so I've acquired many games over the years on PC and Steam. So I've got a huge library of games to install on here. I think I've got, I don't know, somewhere around 20 games installed, and it's pretty much filled up my storage. But as you can see here, there's the menu. It looks a lot like you were just using Steam on the computer, if you're familiar with that. But it's really cool. There's all sorts of, besides just games, there's a lot of cool stuff you can do with this. So if you hit the Steam button, you can go down to the power menu and switch to desktop mode. And essentially this will reboot the Steam Deck into desktop mode. And in here, it's running on Linux, so it's not Windows based. But this is kind of like Windows. You've got trackpads on here. You got a mouse cursor. You can go down here, and there's a store called Discover, and in here you can search for things. There's Firefox, Chrome. There's YouTube apps, Plex, other gaming things. There's something called Lutris I discovered that actually lets me install games from the Origin store or Ubisoft or Epic Games. So I was actually able to play some other games that aren't technically compatible with the Steam Deck through Steam by installing them through other launchers. So like the Epic Games store, I launched it up and I installed a couple games. I think I tried 5 different ones and 2 of them worked perfectly. And then I was able to add them as shortcuts to Steam so I can actually access them in the Steam mode, in the game mode, and launch them. It's pretty neat. As far as the hardware goes, the thumbsticks are great. They're capacitive, so meaning there's sensors in here that detect when you've got your thumbs on them. So that will actually just do different things, like disable the trackpads when your thumbs are resting on here, so you don't actually accidentally swipe on the trackpad and mess up what you're doing. It's got a D-pad over here. The D-pad, it feels pretty good. I've heard of some people having issues with the buttons. All my buttons and sticks seem to work just fine. The back, the thing I don't like is there's 4 buttons back here, and I guess you can reprogram them. There's the L1, R1, L2, R2 back here, just like on PlayStation, Xbox controllers if you're used to that. But these, you can reprogram any of these buttons, but these buttons are weird. They're hard to press. I don't really find much use out of them, so I think that's a little strange. The trackpads are awesome. It actually gives you like some haptic feedback as you're moving around, and you can click on it. The left click to launch things, and you kind of feel a little haptic feedback as you click. So that's really cool. The Steam button, and then I guess this is like a quick menu button. Actually, it's also fully touchscreen. so I can touch and click on whatever. This will take me back to the game mode. The feel of the device, it's definitely big. I think it feels a little cheap. I haven't heard anybody really say this in any reviews that I looked at, but I think it feels like thin. I mean, it's thin plastic all over. It just doesn't feel to me as premium as say even like the PlayStation Vita, or heck, even I'd say the PSP felt a little better. I mean, it's fine, but like I think it's strange that on the like these corners here, it's just hard plastic. I don't know why they wouldn't have put some like rubber grips there or something. I'm actually going to order a case that's coming down the road. I forget who it was from, but that case looks like it covers these corners, so it makes it more grippier. So I'm definitely going to pick that up when it comes out. But yeah, when you're back in the Steam game mode, you hit the Steam button, and you got your library, friends and chat, media, download, settings, all that stuff. And then over here, if you hit this button, it gives you quick settings. So you can adjust brightness, audio, Wi-Fi. You can connect to Bluetooth speakers or controllers. You can turn Rumble off and on. It's even got this performance section where you can pull up a performance overlay. So I don't know how well you can see this, but you can turn things on to pull up like a frame rate counter, so you can see what frame rate you're getting in your games. You can also pull up. I think you have to actually be in a game to see it, but it will even show you like your temperature of your GPU, your CPU, and everything. So that's pretty cool. There's the friends list and notifications. But yeah, I mean overall, I really haven't had any issues with it. It does get hot when you're playing. It charges really quick. It uses USB-C. It's got it comes with a power brick with a built-in cable. The only complaint I have about that is the cable is only like 3 feet long, which I'm not sure what they were thinking. That's really short. Luckily, I already had an Anchor USB wall plug, and then I found another USB-C cable that works to charge it that's way longer. But yeah, I don't know why they decided to make it so small. And then again, I really think that they should have made rubber grips on these corners. That's really the only complaint hardware-wise. I mean, yeah, it feels a little cheap, but the screen is great. There was 3 different versions of the Steam Deck you could order. There was a 64 gig, 256 gig, and then the 512 gig, and that's the one that I got, the 512. And there is another difference with the 512, is that the screen is, and you're not going to really be able to tell from here probably, but it's matte, so it's laser etched glass, so it's matte, so it doesn't glare as much. It doesn't pick up as much glare. Obviously, you're still going to get some glare, but like I can't see my face in it when I'm playing, so that's really nice. I will say I noticed one oddity just before I created this or started this video. I was cleaning it for the first time. The screen doesn't really seem to pick up thumbprints or anything, fingerprints very easily. But it was the first time I had wiped it with the cleaning cloth it came with, and I noticed there was these little bubbles under the screen. It almost looked like when you're putting on when you put on a screen protector and then you got some bubbles trapped in it, but there's no screen protector on it. So I did a quick search on Reddit, and evidently quite a few other people have noticed the same thing, specifically on the 512 gig model. So that kind of sucks. Hopefully, and the pictures I've seen of some of the other ones they're huge. These were really, really tiny, and I massaged them a little bit with my cleaning cloth, and after a while they kind of vanished. So I don't know. I guess as you're playing and the screen is heating up, these bubbles I guess appear and start getting bigger. So that's a little concerning. So I'll definitely keep an eye on that. Like the performance of this thing is just amazing. Like last night I discovered there's all sorts of like hacks and things you can do just to do other things outside of the normal realm of just downloading games from Steam and playing them, like I said. But one of the things is if you have Xbox Game Pass, you can actually use their cloud streaming service You can set up an Edge browser in here through the desktop mode, and you can just Google and find easy instructions for it. And essentially it just takes you to the Xbox Cloud Gaming site, and then you're able to stream Xbox games that you get free over Game Pass. Well, not really free because you're paying for Game Pass like I am. But I was able to play last night Forza Horizon 5. And there was I played Halo Infinite, and I was surprised at how smooth it was. The new TMNT game, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, it played as if I was playing, as if I'd bought the Steam version and was playing it. It was perfectly smooth, no lag. Forza Horizon 5 had a little bit of hitching here and there, but not enough to mess me up in my racing. The controls weren't laggy at all. They were very tight. I had no issues with that. I was just very impressed at how well this played Xbox games. So essentially, it's kind of like a portable Xbox in a sense, since you can stream your Xbox games. So that is definitely a huge plus. But yeah, overall, I really enjoy it. One other thing, a lot of people complained about the heat building up as you're playing games, and it does get pretty hot. But it doesn't get hot where your hands are at. It's only like in the back, upper area, the center, where you're not touching it. But it does get fairly hot depending on what game you're playing. I will say when you're doing the game streaming through the xCloud, it doesn't get hot at all. So that's another big plus of streaming. And then also people complained about the air, the fan noise coming out of these vents, and it ramps up. It gets pretty loud. But honestly, when you're playing the game, the speakers drown it out, and I don't notice it. And the speakers I didn't touch on either. Speakers are awesome. I mean, they're just stereo speakers here on either side, but they get loud. Like I'm usually setting at about 50%. And it's very loud. But yeah, I'll fire up a game real quick. Show you what it looks like in action a little bit. And this one is a weird game. Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy. This one actually requires touch to kick off. But this one's a very weird game if you've played this. This is there's all sorts of games like this. Like Quap is one that comes to mind from many years ago. It's basically purposely frustrating, difficult. You're trying to climb this mountain using very bizarre controls. You're this dude in this like bucket of water. It's very weird, but yeah, as you can see, it it plays very well. And then when I hit the Steam button, I go over here and exit the game, and it boots me right back out. Tetris Connected. I love this game. I actually bought this specifically for the Steam Deck like 2 days before I got it. Very fun game. I'm usually not big on Tetris. I didn't play a ton of Tetris. I mean, I played it originally on the original Game Boy a little bit, but I never was a huge fan of it. But this one's just the sights and the sounds are just incredible, and it plays very well on this. But yeah, so far everything I've played on it plays fantastic. I mean, you can even you can copy games over that you have installed that are non-Steam games. And then using the desktop mode, there's tricks in there using this software called Lutris to actually create a shortcut to an executable, so you can actually add non-Steam games just like you can on a PC in here. So it's very cool. I mean, this thing just has limitless possibilities. There's also a micro SD card slot on the bottom. I've actually got a terabyte micro SD coming. That way I can load up some more games. You can do other things with this, such as you can dual boot. You can install Windows 10 or 11 on here and dual boot between Windows and SteamOS. That will allow you to basically play anything you can play on normal Windows. So I'm definitely going to give that a shot. It looks a little, like, not real hard. There's a lot of guides out there for it, and I've done a lot of stuff like that before with my Vita and PSP and Xbox and stuff in the past, so I'm familiar with tinkering around with stuff like that. So I'm definitely going to give it a shot. I'm just waiting for that micro SD card to come. Anyway, yeah, Tetris Connected, very cool game. Definitely recommend it if you haven't checked it out. If you think you will, play a lot of handheld games and you like to tinker with stuff, and the thought of having a handheld PC, essentially this is what this is. You can even hook up, they're coming out with an official dock for it. You can actually output, and you can use third-party docks now evidently, but there's been some reports of people getting their Steam Decks fried by using certain USB-C docks. So I'm just going to wait for the official Steam one, which will be coming down the road. But you can actually connect keyboard, mice up to this, output it to a monitor, and you could essentially use it as a little desktop. So yeah, it's very cool. But anyway, that's the Steam Deck, and thank you for watching. Subscribe if you like the content, and I'll catch you later.